You saw his name pop up on best available at one point, late. I mean, obviously it looked like he wasn't going to get drafted. And like we talked about, that's not necessarily a surprise to anybody. I think we always knew the path was going to be potentially two-way. And for those that don't know about an Exhibit 10, it's something that, it's basically a training camp offer. You're able to play preseason. There's Max Strus. There's a lot of different guys. I know they're different players, but there's been Kendrick. There's been guys that have made names for themselves in summer league. Brandon Paul got his signed with the Spurs after playing extremely well in summer league as well. So a lot of opportunity for him. Just like a lot of these guys, we talk about Brandon, we talk about Malcolm Hill. Sometimes it's this serpentine path to the league. It's not always wearing a jersey the second you get out of college. So can you stick with it? Can you keep working until you get that shot and then be ready for it when it comes? So I think he's in a good spot. It's a good organization. I know there's a little bit of turnover. I know they don't have a head coach currently. But I think with Danny Ainge kind of running the show a little bit over there, and they have some decent ownership. It's not a bad place to be.
It's a good point. Like I thought of, they've actually used traditional kind of centers recently, right? I mean, Rudy Gobert is different, right? Like we could talk about should the Bulls trade for him. He's an incredibly valuable center in the league and one of the best, obviously. But then they had Hassan Whiteside. If you're looking for a Kofi comp in the NBA, it was probably Udoka Azubuike, right? So like it kind of fits. So maybe that's what Kofi saw here. And yeah, what do you think he needs to show? Like how does he do it in summer league? We know his issues in the NBA, Mike. We know his flaws, but how do you think he gets that two-way deal?
Yeah, I think if you're Kofi, you can't sit there and just think that I got to go out and show that I can knock down 17-footers, corner three. Like, you don't have to do that. That's let yourself develop a little bit, because the value that you had in college, the value and what made you a dominant player was what you were good at. And don't abandon that, because if you abandon that, you basically become an all new player, and now you have to build that up. So I think for him, it's ball screens. Like on the offensive end, can you set it? Can you roll hard? Can you command some attention so that maybe you're getting other guys open looks on the perimeter? But defensively, man, we talk about ball screens in this league. Well, look at the NBA Finals. They didn't run a ton of ball screens. The percentage was much lower in terms of ball screens they ran for Steph Curry during the regular season. But in the NBA Finals and the NBA playoffs, when all breaks down, that's what they go to. And if you are not potent guarding those screens, if you can't do both, and if you're a liability, they can't have you on the floor. It goes back to what I said in the last podcast that we had. What does that list look like? Reasons to keep you off the floor, reasons to keep you on the floor. Which one's longer? And if the one to keep you on the floor is longer, you give yourself a good chance. So, look, I think anyone that's coming into the league, you have to understand and be self-aware of just how young you are. You got a lot of time, right? PJ Tucker spent 5 years overseas. Patrick Beverley played overseas. Like, it doesn't always happen overnight. So just because you don't get drafted, you take all these little opportunities you get. You don't try to project out, focus in the moment, figure out what you have to do, be coachable. Those are the guys that make it. It's not just, if Kofi goes in, look, I'll give this is even a better example. Nana Egwu, okay? Nana Egwu didn't get drafted, obviously, goes to the Orlando Magic. And I'm pretty sure in Summer League, he might have averaged 4 and 4. But he was the very last guy cut during training camp because of all the little things that he did. And I know there was a front office and Scott Skiles, there was disagreement there. One wanted cap space, one wanted to keep him. And that's how you can still show your value in other ways.
And that was before two ways, right?
Yes.
Like, so I wonder, is his career different if they have the two ways? So that's the great part about, being a college guy who doesn't get drafted right now, is these two-way contracts provide a lot of opportunity. So hopefully it works out for him. Like everyone wants there's some people want to relitigate. Should he have gone? Listen, it was risky to pass up the money, right? Like if you're just talking strictly financially, it probably made a lot more sense to come back, but he wasn't improving his draft stock. No matter what, he wasn't improving his draft stock, and Kofi just wanted to go pro. So as long as the people around him were upfront about that, and Kofi understood that, like, hey, this is a little bit of financial risk short term, but I think he understood that, Mike, and kudos to the guy. Like, there's not much more he could do in college, and let's be honest, probably didn't want to be in college anymore. He wanted to go play professional basketball.
You're telling me guys don't want to be in school? Come on.
I was done with school after 4 years, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I know for Illinois fans it would have been convenient, right? But I think at the same time, it's probably something Kofi's dreamed about for a long time, and it's hard to pass it up again. And you never know what can happen with injuries and crazier stuff has happened. So if you feel like you're at the peak of your stock anyways, I mean, why not go?